This presentation includes forward-looking statements that are subject to risks and uncertainties. Actual results may differ materially as a result of various risk factors, including those described in the 10Ks, 10Qs, and 8Ks VMware files with the SEC. Ladies and gentlemen, VMware would like to thank its Global Diamond sponsors, its Global Platinum sponsors, and its Platinum sponsors for VMworld 2014. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Maurizio Carli.
Good morning. This is the capital of Vemovida. I don't feel the energy. Let's try again. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, better, thank you. Welcome to Barcelona. Welcome to VMworld 2014. I'm very pleased to see all of you here today. This year, we're breaking a new record. We are close to 9,000 people here today. Thank you very much. You deserve an applause. All here today to learn about the latest development in our industry. So much has happened in a year, a lot of changes going on, transforming our industry. And I'm happy to be here to share with you how we fully embrace this dramatic change. I'm sure you recognize these pictures. Some outstanding creation by Gaudí, and if you did not have a chance, let's go to see them. It's really outstanding. Gaudí, through his amazing innovative mindset, created the shape of the future. He pushed the boundaries and made real some of the most outstanding buildings in the world, like the Sagrada Familia. He had no limits. It's the same for all of us here today. Times of change are a great opportunity to push our boundaries. This week is all about opportunity. Pushing boundaries means breaking down barriers and being open to innovation. It's about exploring together the possibilities of today's technology innovation and expanding our knowledge and expertise. As you take advantage of VMworld 2014, you will discover there are no limits. What a wonderful theme for all of us. No limits. Last year, we announced several important innovations. VMware NSX, Virtual SAN, our new hybrid cloud service. You are going to learn what a difference 1 year makes. This week, we will cover how software-defined data center is the foundation of your private cloud. And once you have that, how, with the cloud here, you can build, you can realize a scalable, agile, secure hybrid cloud. We also have a lot to cover on end-user computing and mobility. Since we saw you last year, we acquired AirWatch, the market leader on enterprise mobility management and security. We will explore all the latest offerings that empower you to manage your growing mobile workforce without compromising your control. You will have many opportunities to explore these areas with our 300 session, the hands-on labs, the solution exchange, where around 130 leading companies are presenting their solutions. Of course, VMworld is a technology conference, but it's so much more than that. It's about people. You, us, all the people here. The networking opportunities this week are phenomenal. And this year, we are also holding our first networking event for women with VM Women Group. So exploit all this opportunity, go and meet new people. Let me also talk about VMAG organization. VMAG is an independent community of more than 100,000 users and partners from over 50 countries across the world. This is a community of people that are very passionate about our technology. If you are not already a member, I invite you to join the VMware user group. VMAG, as always, has a booth here and would be very happy to get you involved. So sign up at the Solutions Exchange. Now, there is a saying, every great waterfall starts with a single drop of water. This year, for the first time, we are rallying everyone here to join us in supporting our community through the VMware Foundation initiative, Destination Give Back. So stay with me. So here's what you have to do. Join us in the space, build your paper airplane. I hope you have good skills in aeronautics. Then fly your plane in our special runway. The distance your airplane travels defines the amount that will be donated from the VMware Foundation to the cause of your choices. The VMware Foundation, in the next 48 hours, will collect all the money we can to donate in support of the 5 causes chosen by the VMware employees: children, education, environment, women and girls, and human rights. So please, get involved, get engaged, and have some fun. I will be the first one to try. Thank you. This is my wonderful plane, Concorde. Let's see. OK, I'm an electronic engineer, so not great. This is the minimum I expect from each of you. This is below that, you are bad. OK? OK. Sorry. I made a, let's go back. So together we can have a meaningful impact on these important causes. Sorry, there is a, okay. So again, a big thank you for taking out time of your busy agenda. I know that you're very busy, and also these are difficult times for traveling, so I appreciate very much to have you here. VMworld is critical. This year is very critical. It's all about innovation, and how this industry couldn't get any more innovative. Together, we are transforming the industry. There is so much power in this audience, and there are endless possibilities, a theme you'll hear all the week. And for this, I'd like to bring a man who cannot be better suited to talk about no limits. It's my pleasure to welcome to stage VMware Chief Executive Officer, Pat Gelsinger. Pat.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, Barcelona. Good morning, VMworld 2014. It is truly great to be here with you again. Thank you so very much. And we'd like to start this morning by taking a look at a broader perspective on the world that we live in today. You know, the world as we see it is becoming increasingly liquid, where the old rigid structures, we're seeing them quickly melt away before us, where it's becoming a dynamic, shape-shifting environment. And you know, let's start by just talking about water. You know, water is the basic source of life. Water covers about 70% of the world's surface, and it always retains its same DNA, its same structure, but it takes different forms. It's magical, it's flowing, it's powerful, it's beautiful, it's adaptive, constantly flowing and constantly moving. And as we think about that, we see that our world, the structures that are normally in this world, are quickly becoming more liquid and fluid as well. Education, it's now not about the classroom, but about everywhere you go for learning. Work is no longer a physical location, but it's about what you do in all the places of life. Where retail is about mobile and transactions happening anywhere. Where governments are being demanded for increasing transparency and visibility, and things like Bitcoin are redefining the basic economic principles of our world. Entertainment, the poster child for digital transformation. And we see overall that our world is becoming increasingly liquid, fluid. And we see that some of our customers are on the very forefront of these types of changes. And maybe just one example of that is Cancer Research UK, which is about raising funds for early detection and cancer research, funding of the most important aspect of solving this area of health challenge, cancer today. But in Cancer Research UK, they were struggling with an infrastructure that was holding them back from being as fluid, dynamic, and as scalable as they wanted for their customers. Mick Briggs, the head of infrastructure for them, led an effort to deploy a private cloud environment internally where they virtualized all of their operations, all of their applications from 0 to almost 100% virtualized, and they resulting in a 30% performance increase, 100% uptime, and being able to virtualize all of their CRM, Siebel, SQL databases, Exchange, Office in that environment. And for this, they wanted to be able to host all of their environments, and some of those, like their signature event, the Race for Life that they host, the largest women-only fundraising event in UK. And I guess I sort of take a personal liking to this event because just a couple of weekends ago, my two sons and I rode in the Canary Challenge, sort of an equivalent research effort in Stanford University for early detection cancer research. All of this being able to be hosted, operated, scale on a fully virtualized VMware-based environment. Cancer research leading to more than £100 million since 2013 raised for this effort. Another example is Lufthansa Systems, IT services for airline and aviation industry. 2,200 employees as part of their IT infrastructure on 4 data centers. And their challenge was developing a scalable, agile, and secure method for pilots to real-time access all of the flight information and the flight surveys that they would have, or the electronic flight charts and guides that they would have. And these charts need to be updated regularly, and instead of carrying pounds of information, downloading this information on a constant and ongoing basis. And Dr. Jorg Lieby, the CIO there, using vCloud Director as well as vCloud Air, is giving Lufthansa the flexibility, agility of both the private and the hybrid cloud with robust security. Or another example is Malaysian Ministry of Education. Over 10K schools and 5.5 million students across Malaysia. And they're trying to connect every one of these students, including those in the farthest reaches of the Borneo jungle. And Enek Shahabuddin, the senior IT officer there, led to 1,250 schools in less than 5 months with 25,000 virtual desktops being deployed. And an amazing story, as many of these children who are now online through a VDI desktop experience, this is the first time they're ever touching a computer in their educational experience. A truly phenomenal effort. Just some examples of this liquid, dynamic world that we're entering into. But what's different about this world? You know, as we think about it, you know, this liquid business environment, you know, competitors are now new domains and new rules, where assets used to be owned and now they're shared. If you think about the transportation startup Uber, it now has a market capitalization approximately equal to that of Renault, without owning any infrastructure, any application. Just amazing what's happening. We see that innovation is now happening with rapid and very quick to fail environments, where we're seeing customers go from millions to billions. And that famous book by Jim Collins, Built to Last, needs to be rewritten, built to change. All of these we see as changing what we would call the status quo, where the way of doing things in the past simply is inappropriate for the future. And the biggest risk to business future is to perpetuate the status quo. Successful business leaders understand that disruption is inevitable, so they invent it rather than wait for it to occur to them. Companies and leaders that win are thoughtful, decisive, and bold. The brave will thrive in this new environment. At Intel, we call this informed risk-taking, not about foolish risk. You know, it's not about just moving quickly in new directions or fads in the industry, but it's thoughtful, it's informed, it's calculated, it's understanding what those risks are, and then making solid decision-making to move forward boldly. I like this definition for brave: being decisive in the face of uncertainty, or taking bold actions in the pursuit of a new opportunity. Both of these are like two sides of the same coin, speaking explicitly about what it means to be brave. As we think about bravery, what about this in the context of some of our business decision makers? Horgen Vignustrup, the CEO of Lego, when he joined Legos 10 years ago, the company was on the brink of bankruptcy. Huge threat from video games becoming the new way that children were expected to play and participated. He led a transformation of the culture, of the organization and structure, new innovations in business and channels to reach, even including a hit movie. Who would have thought that little plastic guys would become a hit movie, the Lego movie, in the summer of 2014? The results: increased profits by 40%, and now Lego is the second largest toy maker in the world. An extraordinary business success. Another example might be the Large Hadron Collider. This is the world's largest science project, and by far the most powerful particle accelerator ever conceived, out to prove the Higgs boson particle as the last fundamental component of the standard model of physics. You know, I had the pleasure of visiting this location at CERN, right? You know, it's on the border between Switzerland and France, and going down in the tunnel and seeing this just before it went live in 2008. Just an awesome experience seeing this incredible aspects of the collectors and the accelerators that are there. This idea of smashing protons that are moving at near the speed of light, and then watching what happens when they do it. But as we see in bravery, it is seldom a solo act. This effort is over 10,000 scientists, over 100 countries, and all continents of the world except Antarctica, participating together in an act of bravery. We see this amongst you. Example, Celeste Onofre and Kevin Fitzgerald, senior IT analysts at Hertz, where Hertz is the #1 car rental brand at 69 airports across Europe. And their goal was to lead in transforming their technology and customer service. And in the audience today, let's give them a warm round of applause for their efforts at transforming Hertz. Where they've quickly brought up 6,000 Horizon View users in 1,000 locations out of 2 data centers in Europe to quickly and easily meet the customer demand across their environment. Great work by Celeste, Kevin, and their team. Another example of bravery, Mike Regan, the CIO at the Cleveland Clinic, Abu Dhabi. It was really interesting. I was on a flight actually from US to Abu Dhabi, and here's Mike. Let's give Mike a round of applause as well. Thank you, Mike. And I'm on this flight to Abu Dhabi, and I'm sitting next to a guy who's one of the senior leaders of the Cleveland Clinic. And I ask him what he's doing going to Abu Dhabi. And he says they're starting up a world-class hospital and health clinic center in Abu Dhabi. And I'm like, the Cleveland Clinic starting up in Abu Dhabi, a world-class health center? And he says, yeah, we're so excited about it. We're partnering with the government there and other agencies to build a world-class health facility. And Mike and his team, as the CIO for this clinic, are building a world-class environment for a distributed environment, taking advantage of VRealize automation, building a 2 data center environment, architected to scale to more, taking advantage of the full SDDC environment on both the client and the infrastructure side at the Abu Dhabi clinic for their IT infrastructure. And now we're partnering with Mike to bring that back to the rest of the Cleveland Clinic as well. This is the future of healthcare. Thank you and congratulations to Mike and the team. But this is the opportunity for each one of you, right? The opportunity to lead. In this period of great uncertainty, in this dynamic, shape-shifting liquid world, every business is looking to you as their most competent IT, technology competent leader on their staff and in their team. They're looking for you to lead the way. And our opportunity is to enable you to go bravely, thoughtful bravely, not risk-taking, not knee-jerk response. It's about charting this smart path forward for the businesses and the infrastructure. Our job at VMware and with our rich ecosystem of partners is we got your back as we enable you to be bold. But as we think about this world of this brave IT, we'd say, what are the challenges that you need to overcome as you look to this future? What are the barriers that we need to enable and help you overcome as you look to this uncertain future? And fundamentally, silos are containing IT and creating this environment where it's viewed as one versus the other, as traditional apps versus new cloud-native apps, as IT versus developers, as on or off-premise, where I can choose to be safe, secure, and compliant, or I can be agile, scalable, and dynamic. And fundamentally, our approach is to enable not the or, but the and. And we see that we're in the unique position to bridge between these divides, to conquer the silos and that create these barriers and slow down the business, move from the tyranny of or to the power of and, where it's all apps, old and new, without compromise, where it's IT enabling developers, where it's on and off premise, extending the capabilities, right, of your hybrid cloud. It's safe and secure, as well as instant and elastic. And this is what we think of as we think about brave new IT. Fundamentally, it's the power of and. And as we think about this brave new IT, we see these 4 characteristics that are part of this world. It's fluid. It's very rapidly able to form and respond to business demands. It's instant, where applications are provisioned instantly, right? It's secure, where you're not trading off any of those security requirements despite this increasingly distributed environment. And that enables you choice for today as well as for tomorrow. It's these characteristics that form the basis of innovation coming from the 3 core businesses of VMware. And as we think about our strategic priorities, it's about building infrastructure that enables apps. Nobody builds infrastructures for the purpose of infrastructure itself. It's always to enable applications. And it's these apps that drive business and create revenue for the future. And our job is to speed the delivery of this from the infrastructure components that we provide. First, and at the heart of our strategy, the software-defined data center. Building upon that, we enable the software-defined data center characteristics both on as well as off-premise, the hybrid cloud, bringing those 2 worlds together seamlessly and dynamically. And then finally, extending from the data center infrastructure to the devices with our end-user computing components. We laid out this vision approximately a year and a half ago, and we've been steadfastly aligning all of our actions, our businesses, our developments, our enablement, and our partnership to bring this about. And today, you'll see we've made powerful progress on all 3 legs of this strategy. And ultimately, these 3 taken together enable the software-defined enterprise. So let's start by looking at the software-defined data center, the foundation. For this, we see 4 components. Compute, vSphere. We're out to virtualize 100% of the workloads that you run. We're not done until we've done them all. And we're just chipping away one by one at every application, every workload, every company, just making more and more progress toward 100% virtualized. Networking, to bring the agility and the flexibility of virtual machines, but enable that in the context of the networks with speed, efficiency, and security. To have those same characteristics of transformational virtualization brought to the storage infrastructure as well, through virtual SAN as well as virtual volumes and our partnership with the industry. And finally, it's seen through this plane of management software or automation software that increasingly becomes the way that the software-defined data center is seen, automated, and delivered to your users. These 4 taken together, the software-defined data center. So today, let's start by looking a little bit more closely at compute. And we're announcing a number of items today. First, vSphere vCloud Suite 5.8, where we've brought more and more of the integration, the fit and finish, right, of the entire suite as part of vCloud Suite 5.8. Integrating new capabilities like SRM and VRealize automation that allows you to not just deploy an application, but also automate and set up the DR and policy characteristics of that environment as well. We're also in beta in vSphere 6.0, a huge release of vSphere for us. Of course, it's bigger and better with bigger VMs and VMDKs, higher performance for in-memory databases. It also is policy management, resiliency with fault tolerance up to 4 vCPUs, and new capabilities like long-distance vMotion. Built for cloud-native applications, support for containers, Hadoop, NoSQL environments. All of these is part of a major new release that's in beta today and coming next year. With that also comes the virtual volumes and virtual SAN 2.0. Significant improvements in DRS and vSAN and data services like snapshots and clones, integrated and delivered as part of the standard capabilities with vSphere 6.0. And finally, we announced last week the Federation SDDC solution, a complete reference architecture that we've architected and built together with our Federation partners, EMC and Pivotal, the most robust reference design for the software-defined data center, period. So that's a look at compute. Let's now look quickly at management and see what we're doing in this area of management, the way that the software-defined data center is delivered and automated. You know, according to IDC and Gartner, VMware is being recognized and seen as the clear leader in cloud management in the industry, leading by a significant margin and increasing that lead as we look forward to automating and enabling enterprises to move to the cloud. And our customers and partners are increasingly looking to us to deliver that management software for this transition to the cloud. Today, I'm very happy to announce the VRealize suite, a single unified management platform that covers automation, that covers operations, as well as business. And this suite of capabilities, the VRealize suite, operates across physical, virtual, both VMware and other virtual environments, as well as cloud. And increasingly, customers say, if I'm going to buy into the cloud management platform from you, it has to support this full range of infrastructure requirements. It's delivered on and off-premise, and we've made our first announcements about the off-premise versions or the as-a-service versions of the VRealize product line. And of course, it needs to not just support today's apps, but also tomorrow's application environments as well. VRealize suite, comprehensive infrastructure management for today and for tomorrow. We announced a comprehensive branding program around AIR. All of the VMware as-a-service products will be using AIR, so we'll have the VRealize AIR automation as the automation platform delivered and hosted right from the cloud. We're also announcing today VRealize AIR Compliance, services that allow you to know the compliance profile of your environments, as well as to keep those environments in security and regulatory compliance. We're also announcing VRealize Operations 6.0, right? A huge improvement in the operations environment that increases dramatically the scale limits by 8x the scale of the environments. Alerts and auto-resolution capabilities, continuing to move the bar in terms of full automation of all activities that go on inside of the data center. We're also announcing VRealize Code Stream, because many of you in IT are being seen as needing to enable this new model of DevOps or developer-driven operations of infrastructure. And VRealize Code Streams enables these DevOps environments to develop, automate, and govern the application lifecycle and release of the code of the applications that you're deploying against that infrastructure. An exciting new capability, VRealize Code Stream. Taken together, the VRealize suite of capabilities, comprehensive solution for cloud management. As customers increasingly look to take advantage of the software-defined data center, they're looking for ways to expedite this journey, where the past was far too tied to hardware-defined infrastructure, and the future is about the software-defined infrastructure. And how can they expedite the journey to getting there? I sort of quip that I can have a customer conversation, and in 5 minutes he's sold on the SDDC. The implementation might take just a little bit longer than 5 minutes, though. And we see this range of ways to get there. One is build your own. Build it into the current environments of your data center. We've seen that solutions like VCE and vBlock have been very successful and have defined a new category of converged infrastructure in the marketplace. And today, we're delighted to announce hyper-converged infrastructure. With the SDDC and the standard x86 building blocks, we can now enable a dramatically simpler, lighter, efficient, hyper-converged infrastructure. This is the next evolution. We've titled this VMware Evo. a family of hyper-converged infrastructure that is a single integrated solution that is the fastest way to build, deploy the software-defined data center. Evo is essentially the software-defined data center prepackaged with hardware into a single solution to enable the data center of the future. With Evo, we're taking the power of SDDC, working with our OEM partners for pre-integrated hardware configurations, and enabling the delivery of a complete integrated solution. We're delighted with the announcement of the first member of this family, VRealize, an appliance solution for mid-range needs of compute. Dramatic simplification. We can go from power on, plug the thing in, to VMs provisioned and operating within 15 minutes or less. Lowering CapEx, lowering OpEx, an integrated solution for about 100 VMs or about 250 VDI terminals, each of those stackable up to 4. We're delighted with the range of ecosystem support that we've been able to bring to the marketplace around VRealize. And with this, we've seen that we've had these 6 hardware partners that we announced at VMworld US. Partners that are offering a single point of contact for support and service against a pre-integrated hardware-software bundle. World leaders like Dell and EMC, geographic leaders like Fujitsu and Inspur, and emerging leaders like Net1 and Supermicro, all coming together to deliver VRealize into the marketplace. But today, I'm very happy to announce the newest member of the VRealize family of partners, Hewlett-Packard, the world's #1 server manufacturer today, with worldwide leadership, but particularly here in Europe, as a very strong partner here. And with this, we're thrilled to be able to announce our partnership with Hewlett-Packard today in bringing VRealize to the marketplace. We're also, yeah, let's applaud. Woo. I'm excited about it. We worked hard to get this partnership done, so thank you very much. So in addition to Hewlett-Packard, we're also excited to have Hitachi Data Systems, a longtime partner of VMware, also joining the VRealize family. And if we could just take a look at the Evo Zone that you'll be seeing in on the show floor. These systems up, running, and demonstrating this incredible ease of use, this efficient operations, CapEx, OpEx, and of nothing else, just the speed of efficiency of this environment. A really, really impressive display of the Evo family of products. But as I said, Evo is a family of products, right? And the VRealize is sort of this mid-size appliance for the mid-market, but it has its big brother, Evo Rack. And we have a tech preview of Evo Rack here on the show floor as well. It's the power and the same architectural concepts as Evo, but done at data center or at full cloud scale. The ability to scale from 1 to N racks, also automating the lifecycle management of the hardware, right, and the infrastructure requirements. And again, working with the leading hardware providers to enable a cloud scale or rack scale solution, Evo Rack. In addition, we're excited that VMware has joined Open Compute Project, or OCP, and we're contributing the low-level management technologies into OCP for further standardization of those capabilities across the industry. Evo Rack and VRealize together, from mid-range to high-end requirements, dramatically enabling the acceleration of the SDDC into the marketplace. An exciting new set of capabilities. Now, what is one of the biggest challenges, though, that IT is still facing today? There's this belief that there's requirement for a new set of infrastructure to run some of the emerging application environments. And some are asserting that we need a new hardware silo to be able to run some of these new third-generation application environments as they have been described. And we're out to disprove that. Now more than ever, you want choice, but you don't want to have to stand up yet another hardware infrastructure. Today, we're announcing the VMware Integrated OpenStack offering, a full OpenStack distribution in beta today using all of the leading VMware technologies, NSX, ESX, vSAN, bringing all of those, but combining it with the OpenStack APIs. You simply don't need a new disjoint silo of infrastructure to enable OpenStack in your environment as well. We're also very happy today to announce that CSC is partnering with us to take advantage of VMware Integrated OpenStack and make it the foundation for their CSC Agility platform, a perfect complement to our SDDC for customers managing cloud environments faster and more securely into the future. VMware Integrated OpenStack plus a major partnership announcement with CSC. And this allows us to bring together the leading VMware tools and technologies through the VMware APIs as well as through the OpenStack APIs, enterprise-grade, comprehensive, industry-standard platform that delivers traditional as well as emerging OpenStack interfaces. One common VMware infrastructure, the same secure, managed environment, simply put, choice without disruption. But there's also a second misperception that's emerging. The first one being I need a separate infrastructure silo. The second one is that I have to choose between VMs or containers. And containers are emerging as this new, exciting way to deliver applications at speed. But we see that these two concepts, VMs and containers, are both needed and both compatible. Containers as a way to efficiently package and deploy new applications. VMs as an efficient and powerful way to manage, isolate, and secure the infrastructure. Together, efficient, secure model for application deployment. And we're announcing that we can bring these together. We're working with Docker, Google, Pivotal, and VMware. We're announcing a common platform for all applications. We're excited to be working with Docker, to be working with Google in the Kubernetes effort, to be working with Pivotal in the leading PaaS or Cloud Foundry environment. You'll hear more about this from Raghu and Kit, an efficient mechanism for containers in VMs. We call this Project Fargo, containers without compromise. And just quickly looking at what this is, it's the VMware APIs, it's the OpenStack APIs. Last year we announced the Cloud Foundry partnership with Pivotal to bring those interfaces, that PaaS layer on top of a common infrastructure. And now with today's announcements, bringing Open Container APIs on top of that same infrastructure. Containers without compromise. Being able to deliver a common infrastructure across the best-of-breed technologies that you know, understand, and love, right, to enable this full range of application environments. One platform for any application. Now, the next leg of our journey, networking. And as I think about all the pieces of transformative, disruptive technology that we're working on, I think this is maybe the most significant. The one that rises above them all. And for a hardware, compute, server kind of guy, for me to claim that something else is the most exciting, that's a hard thing for me to do. But I think this could be it. And as we're thinking about this area of networking, we really see that the network has in so many ways become the bottleneck. Right? It is the thing limiting our speed of provisioning new apps and service. It is the area that we need most economic gains for improved OpEx and CapEx. And it is the place of most leverage for new models of security. Taken together, NSX is built to address all three of these needs. NSX, the network virtualization platform. Now, as we think about this, let's just take a quick look at what NSX is all about. A virtual network and software. We start with your standard data center, right? Server racks connected up against your network, all things that you know and love, right? And on those server racks, right, you have your VM architecture, which includes now your virtual switches. NSX uses those capabilities, the VMs as well as these virtual switches, to establish a network hypervisor. And like the hypervisor, it allows the creation of a software VM for networking. Or maybe we should think about it as VMs and VNs, virtual machines as well as virtual networks. And these virtual networks include all of the capabilities of switching, routing, firewalls, load balancers, just moved into the virtual domain. And it allows you to create them, move them, save them, delete them, restore them, all the things that you've come to know and love with the VM. So we have VMs and VNs, virtual networks. We're seeing strong momentum behind virtual networking. We have over 250 customers worldwide, up from over 150 just a quarter ago. Right? A strong acceleration. We have 14 partners that are now delivering integrated solutions with NSX. We announced 4 of these partnerships at VMworld, with Arista's top-of-rack switching, with Dell, with F5 and load balancing, and with Hewlett-Packard. Today, I'm very happy to announce an expanded partnership with Palo Alto Networks. VMware and Palo Alto Networks delivering a best-in-class, consistent approach for securing applications in the hybrid cloud. Deep integration between Palo Alto Networks' next-generation firewall and VMware NSX that allows these abilities to be common security profiles and policies implemented across the distributed firewalls inside of the VMs with NSX and into the infrastructure that Palo Alto firewalls provide, bringing those two together to deliver a design once, secure once, deploy anywhere approach to applications. A strong and powerful partnership between VMware NSX and Palo Alto Networks. But we're also announcing today that we're working with Palo Alto Networks to make this first-of-the-kind capabilities available in vCloud Air as well, an important part of our future hybrid cloud vision with Palo Alto Networks. This strategy with network virtualization and NSX is being recognized broadly in the industry, where Gartner has put VMware in the Magic Quadrant, the first time a software vendor is on the Magic Quadrant and is the clear visionary in the Magic Quadrant. We're also being recognized broadly in the industry by analysts like Credit Suisse as having a clear and powerful vision and gaining momentum and leadership in the industry. Partners are building, customers are choosing, and analysts are recommending NSX. But as I mentioned, security was one of the 3 pillars that customers and industry are looking to solve with network virtualization. And we're finding this is one of the strongest use cases for NSX today is about delivering a next-generation security capability as well, being able to solve security in new ways. And when we think about this, IT spend is approximately flat. You all painfully know that your budgets are nominally flat. And we're seeing that security spend is on the rise. But the only thing increasing faster than security spend is the cost of security breaches. And when you look at this graph, you say, something is architecturally wrong. If we're spending more and we're falling more behind, we need a new approach. Now, this might seem a little bit geeky, but I'm a farm boy, Pennsylvania, born and bred farm boy. I expected to be in cow chips, not computer chips growing up. And I always have eggs for breakfast. And if you think about this soft-boiled egg in front of you, right, good protein, start out with some logs in the fire for a good day's energy. But when you think about it, it's hard and crusty on the outside, and it's soft and gooey on the inside. sort of like your data centers. Because what happens is that we spent almost all of our security dollars on perimeter or edge-based services. We've made it hard and crusty on the outside. But if an attacker is able to break through to a phishing attack or ride along another set of traffic, when they get inside, they're almost unlimited with their horizontal movement inside of the data center, because all of our spend and all of our security is on the hard, crusty edge. NSX changes all of that. It allows you to establish secure, isolated zones inside of the data center, right? And this is a powerful, enabling breakthrough for how security is done into the future. And you hear more from Ben and Raghu tomorrow as we discuss this area of microsegmentation, as NSX changes this in a fundamental and architectural way. Right? NSX offers enormous advantages over traditional networking, right? To move, add, change workloads, distributed policy enforcements, and to attack security in a new and fundamental way. Moving on to end-user computing, and I'll simply say what a difference a year makes. And since VMworld last August, we've made tremendous progress. Key new acquisitions like Destone, bringing DAS services, the foundational move in mobile security and management with AirWatch, key new partnership announcements with Cisco, Google, NVIDIA, Verizon, new applications and services, Horizon DAS, right? Our AppShield environment, the key partnerships and distribution and new services with SAP and Capgemini. At VMworld US, we announced Cloud Volumes, a key new application for the automated delivery, right, of virtual applications. Today, you'll hear Sanjay announce Flex, an exciting new capability for bring your own laptop into the workplace. We've made these products and solutions available across all of our channel partners. Today, announcing new partnership with HP. Wow, what a difference a year makes. Simply put, accelerating the pace of innovation and partnership to deliver a new model right into the industry. We're also bringing all of these pieces together into what we call the Workspace suite, a complete, cohesive solution to manage all of the device management, security capabilities required. You can sort of think about it like vCloud Suite was bringing together all the components of the software-defined data center. Workspace Suite is bringing all the components together in end-user computing, desktop, mobile, content, and a common set of workspace services like identity and SSO and social computing, common gateways and catalogs. And you hear Sanjay give much more on this today. And the third leg of our strategy, the hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud, changing the way we build infrastructure and manage our business. We talked earlier that the future is hybrid. And we see that this hybrid model of on and off premise and compatibly enabling those two to work together is a foundational shift in how we think about infrastructure. We see the future is hybrid, not a way station to the future, but it is the future. Analysts predict that in 2020, over 75% of infrastructure is still on-premise, meaning we have some off, some off. And the question is, how can we bring those together as an entirely compatible liquid pool of resources without trade-offs or sacrifices? We've recently renamed our hybrid cloud service to be VMware vCloud Air. Right? Name change underscores our commitment to deliver this value-added set of solutions and services to us as well as to our partners, the vCloud Air network. And we're also using this Air moniker as the description of all of our as-a-service capabilities that we're bringing forward. Today, we're also happy to announce that we're doing a tight integration between the VMware vCloud Air and our Evo Rail, where out of the box, It will include the NGC plugin that allows you to have immediate access to vCloud Air services. We're also integrating deployments with DR capabilities, so your VRealize appliance can DR to the vCloud Air DR service. We're also excited to be announcing that there's credits for those DR capacity capabilities in the cloud when you purchase your VRealize appliance. Right? All of these taken together is just bringing the pieces together between our cloud, right, our end-user computing, and our SDDC components into an increasingly integrated set of offerings from VMware and with and through our partners. And who could be better than talking about our strategy and plans in vCloud Air than the head of this business for us, Bill Fathers. Please join me and welcome him to the stage now. Thank you.
Well done, Pat. Congratulations. Well done. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Pat. Good morning, VMworld. What a great time it is to be in the cloud services business. We launched vCloud Air almost exactly a year ago today, and our timing of entering the market really could not have been better. It's clear that we're all entering a whole new era that we call the professional era of cloud computing. What I'd like to do today is give you an update on the progress that we've made so far. I've got some exciting announcements about new services being delivered on the platform, and also we'll talk a little bit about where we're heading in the future. So, about a year ago, we announced our intent to roll out vCloud Air. In 12 months, we said, we'd roll out across North America, Europe, and Asia. We also talked about launching an exciting new range of hybrid service offerings. We said, how about if every single VMware client could start to use vCloud Air to back up all of their existing on-premises workloads? And you could do that into a cloud that you knew was safe, compliant, secure, and immediately available. We also talked about launching a desktop as a service offering that would allow you to start to choose between a balance of on-premises and public cloud-based versions of our Horizon View product. And we also said that we'd make Pivotal's Cloud Foundry available on the platform so that you could be exposed to the rich array of services that Cloud Foundry offer for developing net new applications. We didn't stop there. We also said we'd take this same range of services, this hybrid service capabilities, and enable a global ecosystem of service provider partners to be able to deliver these services as well. Well, the great news is we did all of that and a lot more, and I'll give you a bit more of an update as well. But perhaps even more importantly is that we've been working with thousands of our clients to deliver some staggering benefit. And at VMware, we're quite familiar with the business benefits associated with things like virtualization. But the benefits we're seeing in public cloud are way more profound in terms of agility, efficiency, and cost savings. And we're seeing for multinationals, for governments, for startups, their ability to reap the full benefits of public cloud in terms of agility and cost savings are becoming the make or break for that company as to whether that company survives in their market or not. It's very interesting. And we've been live here in Europe for just a little over 9 months, but we're also really pleased to have already secured clients in over 11 major markets here within Europe. And you're going to hear a little bit more about the experience some of our European clients have had already. But let's start by taking a look at the big picture of how public cloud adoption has been going in the past 5 years. So rolling back to 2009, 2% of workloads in the world were on the public cloud. Roll forward 5 years. 6%. Wait, all these profound benefits I just talked about here, but yet the progress made is only 6%. Well, there's actually two things been going on. Not only have we reached about 6% here in 2014, but in the last 12 months, we've seen a dramatic surge in the rate of adoption of public cloud. So if you really want to understand what's going on, we'll sort of dig in a bit deeper. Now, like most truly disruptive changes of this magnitude, we've seen it evolve in 3 to 4 stages. Many customers are in what we call the experimental phase. And this is where you start to use the public cloud for a few point use cases. Could be for email, for a web stack, high-performance compute. Very similar to the way PC adoption started out in enterprises. Eventually, though, within that enterprise, adoption of public cloud becomes so wide that suddenly the benefits become so self-apparent that the dam just bursts. And all the factors that have been holding back wholesale adoption just seem to disappear, or the problems are removed. And this moves that organization into what we call the professional era. And we're seeing a broad spectrum of clients make this leap from the experimental phase to the professional phase. It's governments, multinationals, startups, across the whole spectrum. And we probably say about tens of thousands of clients are making this transition today. The other interesting thing about the professional era is you see a new generation of suppliers emerge as well, bringing a whole new professional depth and breadth to the range of services available. Now, as I said, within this room, there are probably thousands of you who are just breaking through the experimental phase and starting to get into the professional era. I mean, as I said, there could not be a more exciting time to be in the cloud services business. And for someone who's British, this is as excited as I get. I've been thinking about this, and I think it's related to the weather. It feels like people in Northern Europe perhaps get less excited. And as the weather improves, people are a little bit more excitable. So perhaps Southern Europe's a little bit more excitable. I live in California, and the weather there is fantastic, and people all the time about everything. And if you're British living in California, it's actually quite exhausting. Anyway, enough of the cultural calibration. So there's this amazing transition occurring. So it kind of makes you wonder, what is it about some clients that are getting stuck in the experimental phase while others are bursting through into the professional era? So let's dig in a bit and see what's going on. It's really interesting. Now, we know there's been a big focus on speeding up the software development lifecycle. This, of course, has given developers a ferocious appetite for more and more infrastructure capacity. And where are they getting that capacity from? The public cloud, which is good, right? That's great. Adoption is surging. Now, each of these new environments being added, effectively what you're doing is creating multiple incompatible environments, each bringing their own approach to management, security, and of course, networking. So for the IT department within these experimental organizations, who are of course still accountable for things like security, governance, performance, and ultimately the cost, this experimental phase has been hugely reactive. It's also incredibly time-consuming to keep up with this ever-proliferating array of different management tools, different problems associated with security, and an ever-increasing size of footprint to protect. Meanwhile, of course, as the IT function's been all consumed by keeping up with this spiraling complexity, the lines of business become more and more independent. And they, in turn, start developing new applications in these heterogeneous public cloud environments that are entirely incompatible with the on-premises environments. So what, you may say? Well, you've got two things going on, of course. You've actually got a hidden tax associated with this spiraling complexity of management, security, and network, and you're also creating silos for your application footprint. And that means you're never going to reach the fundamental benefits associated with cost savings and agility. So how do we see organizations break out of this and get into the professional era? Two things. Time and time again, we see the same two things occurring within the organizations that are making the transition. The first is about making an explicit choice about saying, we're going to have a hybrid strategy, and to that end, we need a hybrid platform. See, it's fundamental that you end up with this consistency across all of your environments so that you don't end up recreating silos. And secondly, this is interesting and perhaps important for everyone in this room, we see the IT professionals put back in charge of making this explicit decision around saying, no, we need to have a hybrid strategy, we're going to select a hybrid platform, and you end up with accountability aligned with the people who are actually carrying the accountability for the performance, the cost, and the security with the people who are making the strategic decisions. So let's talk a little bit more about that first point around needing a hybrid platform in a little bit more detail. Now, vCloud Air's central design principle is around compatibility. The whole goal is to give our clients the ability to manage both their on-premises and public cloud environment as a single pool of resource. And the good news is our hypervisor is what gives us this basis for this hybrid platform environment. So the first thing is there's no incremental costs associated with management, network, and security. You've already got the tools that are going to work. It's already integrated, therefore there's no more spiraling costs and complexity. Tick, that solved the first problem. The second thing it allows you to do is extend your existing applications, if should you wish to, into this hybrid cloud, knowing that you're not going to need to modify that application to allow it to work in the public cloud environment. And disaster recovery is perhaps a good, straightforward use case that thousands of our clients are seeing as a no-brainer in terms of a very good use of a hybrid cloud platform like this. Equally, though, as you're developing your new applications in the public cloud, you know that that application is going to be able to seamlessly connect back to any on-premises applications. And also, should you choose to, perhaps the application reaches a certain scale point in the public cloud, and you decide that the economics are such that you want to bring it back on-premises, you know you can do that without there being punitive switching costs associated with coming back onto the on-premises environment. So this is vCloud Air, folks, and this is how you regain control of the public cloud strategy within your organization and start to deliver the profound benefits associated with public cloud. Let's just take a moment to hear from some of our clients about how their adoption of public cloud is going.
The particular challenges and pain points we're looking for vCloud Air to solve for us is around allowing our DevOps to consume, deploy as they want, when they want, at the scale that they need. By allowing them to go to vCloud Air, we're able to service what they need, allow them to have visibility about what they're deploying and what they're consuming, and make them more accountable.
What appealed to us around vCloud Air was really two things. It's based on the same hypervisor technology that's used in vSphere that enterprises will have deployed in their private cloud. Therefore, you can do that seamless migration from private to public and back again.
One of the other areas we are currently looking into is the disaster recovery capabilities of vCloud Air. Thus, we can replicate our core systems into a platform that I know we're not going to have any compatibility issues, and it will just work.
vCloud Air gives us the platform for innovation. We're able to go out and deliver some really exciting applications for customers without having to worry about the underlying infrastructure. So for us, there are no limits.
Big advantage that we see for our customers is by integrating vCloud Air alongside our private cloud offerings, we can actually help customers move to the hybrid cloud far quicker and simplify that workload migration between the two. Pretty much every customer that I speak to, they are all intending to adopt a hybrid cloud service.
When we were looking for a cloud provider, we needed enterprise class, we needed the data to be hosted in the UK, and we needed a predictable pricing model. When you take all those things into consideration, the only provider that could deliver was vCloud Air.
Fantastic. They really are just great stories, aren't they? Now, we've been rapidly expanding our location footprint for vCloud Air, and actually since we've launched, we've roughly been launching a new location every month, and we now have coverage across North America, Europe, and Asia. We're extremely pleased to announce today that we're going to increase our investment in our European footprint, and we're adding a new vCloud Air location in Germany, which will give us yet another location from which to service the needs of our European client base. We've listened carefully to the importance of you getting a guarantee about the physical location of your data, and Germany, added to the UK, will be the two main locations from which we'll start to now service the European market. So we're really excited about launching in Germany and making that announcement today. And while the expansion of the vCloud Air footprint has been pretty impressive, what gets us even more excited, really excited, is talking about the progress we're making in empowering our global ecosystem of service providers so that they can deliver this same range of vCloud Air hybrid services. And we call this our vCloud Air network. So you wonder why we've been investing so heavily in empowering this global ecosystem of service providers. Well, here's the thing. as you move into the professional era of cloud computing, we think it's extremely important you have an enormous choice of providers from which you buy this service. Many of our providers are able to add a range of value-added services on top of our public cloud capability. It could be a managed private cloud solution. Perhaps they've got networking assets that are pretty useful. You can co-locate within their facilities. Or they also bring often very specific expertise around a specific application or a certification or a certain area around data sovereignty. The global network of service providers we have today really provides unequaled coverage. If you think about this against the competition, effectively we have vCloud Air capability in over 100 markets around the world. It's unbelievable, fantastic progress. And this is just a sample of the industry-leading service providers that form the vCloud Air network. And we regard the depth and breadth of this ecosystem as an extremely strong basis for differentiation in the marketplace. And what I'd like to do finally is talk about our innovation and the new services that we're making available on the platform. Our innovation has been focused in two areas. One is enabling you to increasingly adopt the public cloud for a lot of your existing workloads. And we're also very focused on making vCloud Air the platform of choice as you're developing net new mobile applications. So starting with deployment. As you start to adopt public cloud in real scale, what you need are some SaaS-based tools that really help you with that deployment model. We're announcing today the availability of a continuous integration as a service capability, which is a SaaS-based tool that both the developers and the operations group within the organization can use as a common tool for promoting applications into the public cloud or bringing them back on premises as they're needed as well. We're also announcing the availability of database as a service capabilities. And these allow you to extend the use of structured or unstructured databases in the public cloud. And we're going to be starting with support for MySQL and SQL. But very soon afterwards, you'll see us roll out and support all of the major database technologies, enabling you to run effectively a database as a service in the public cloud. We're also going to be making available a very innovative disaster recovery solution that enables you to effectively use vCloud Air as a DR solution for your on-premises databases. Very exciting. We also recently announced the availability of a beta for our object storage capability. This is based on EMC's Viper technology, and this provides you with an incredibly scalable, secure, and dependable, cost-effective object storage solution. You can use this for things like shared file storage, and also will be the basis for many of our next-gen big data solutions that you'll see coming down the pipe. That beta is available now. You're welcome to join it. And we expect that service will go into general availability worldwide at the beginning of next year. In terms of mobility services, now obviously mobile devices has become the dominant platform for new application development. Obviously very excited to announce that the VMworld app that many of you hopefully have been using to take selfies during this event is running on vCloud Air. We've also announced a number of other services, and I'll just pick out a couple. The first of which is now that AirWatch mobile device management capability is available on vCloud Air, and also that Pivotal's Cloud Foundry mobile services suite are also now available on the platform as well. And we're seeing this as a very common use case for clients that are starting to use vCloud Air. And finally, cloud management, very important. We've already integrated vCloud Air with all of VMware's existing suite of management tools. And as Pat alluded to, we're also now delivering the VRealize suite as a SaaS-based offering on vCloud Air. So that tighter integration is obviously going to be extremely powerful. And you'll see a little bit more of that in a demonstration that's coming up tomorrow. Time to get out those cell phones. This is the URL that you need to take a picture of. If you do nothing else at VMworld, this is the thing you need to know. We're also very pleased to be announcing the early access program for vCloud Air On Demand. That's available both in North America and in Europe on the 17th of November. This is a true pay-as-you-go offering where you pay basically for what you use with minute-based billing, and it's available online to clients in over 100 countries. The beta program launched in September. It was fully subscribed, and we're really pleased to be bringing that into early access in November, and that will go into general availability in the middle of January next year. So take a picture of that, register, please come and take part in either the beta program, or take part in the early access program. Now, all of this innovation is pinned down on three things. One, compatibility. This is fundamental to it being a hybrid platform. So you don't recreate silos, and you don't have spiraling costs associated with management, security, and networking, and reinventing the wheel every time someone uses a new public cloud. It's compliant. You don't need to have that headache. We'll take care of this. We're making sure that vCloud Air is compliant with all of the industry and government standards that you've asked us to make sure it's compliant with, and we just keep adding them to the list. It's fully compliant with every standard that the clients are asking us to achieve. And choice. Choice is key. It's really important that you have a choice of providers around the world that you could make this decision to use because of the complementary services they offer or the physical location of their data center footprint. It's been an incredible 12 months since we launched vCloud Air. It's time for you to take control of your organization's public cloud strategy. For some of you, you've already made the leap into the professional era and you're seeing the benefits. But for most, you haven't. So it's time for you to embrace a hybrid strategy and select vCloud Air as the hybrid cloud platform for both your existing applications and for all of your net new applications. Now, here at VMware, we're also very focused on your applications and your end users, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce my colleague, Mr. Sanjay Poonen, who'll talk a bit more about our innovation in that space. Sanjay Poonen, thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, sir.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello, VMworld Barcelona. I hope you're having a great time. We're near sort of the last phase of this keynote, and last year I was just excited. It was my first week in Barcelona. I love coming to this town. It's got one of the best football teams I watched from Silicon Valley, and I called VMware the Messi of infrastructure software. And since then, Barcelona got another great soccer player, Suarez, okay? But today I'm not going to make any jokes about biting your competitors, okay? We prefer to win with great products in the market. But this is a very exciting time because there's so much going on, as Pat talked about, in end-user computing. Our analysts tell us it's like night and day difference between last year and this year because we focused on building great products, listening to you, and driving innovation like never before. And that's because there's some fundamental changes happening in the world of end users and IT. If you think about the world of desktops and laptops, increasingly moving to tablets and phones and machines, today there's more software in the modern automobile than the first 1970s spacecraft. If you think about the world of applications, things are moving increasingly on-premise to the cloud, or the next generation set of developers are building these with new application paradigms. In data, you may have thought about putting your content into structured databases like Oracle, or unstructured systems like SharePoint. But almost every CIO and CTO I talk to today is asking us for the simplicity yet security of an enterprise type of Dropbox. This is the world we live in. And as we thought about this, we decided in our end-user computing world to create a bold new vision that would last for us for years to come. And this vision, simply put, is to create this notion of a secure virtual workspace to allow every one of you to work at the speed of life. This is something that you can describe to your grandmother. It's a very simple vision. If you think about this, when you listen to your music today, you don't lug around 300 CDs. You have the iPod, the iPhone, the iCloud, all of your music streamed to you. When you think about movies today, you could have a streaming service like a Netflix that drives any of your content. You could watch part of a movie in San Francisco, get on a plane, land in Barcelona, and start exactly where you stopped. So this world of desktop to tablet to phone to Tesla, if you would, needs a management and security world that's heterogeneous because much of these landscapes are very different. If you think about the left-hand side, it's primarily Microsoft Windows. There's some Mac and Chromebooks today. But the tablet and phone world is very different. Let me ask you guys, as a quick survey, how many of you came to this conference with something other than an iPhone or an Android phone in your pocket? 2 people, and I'm going to pray for you, okay? But you get the idea. It's a very different landscape in the world of mobile. And inside machines, you've got things like QNX. You need a heterogeneous Switzerland type of player. All of you in Europe appreciate Switzerland. It's sort of a neutral country where people can put their money or rest on this being the type of landscape where you can manage things in a secure fashion. So in our world of end-user computing, we've got three core pillars: desktop, mobile, and content. And these are the three pillars of our innovation. And to make this very clear, I'd like to step back and give you an analogy. If you were to go to Singapore today and you went to this great hotel called the Marina Sands Bay Hotel, you'll see 3 towers and a beautiful swimming pool on top of this. This is one of the most incredible forms of modern architecture. And to build this actually took a lot. Singapore's a bunch of islands. You can't build this on sand. You've got to build this on world-class infrastructure. And once you've done this and you've built 3 great towers, on the very top of this you have an infinity swimming pool with the view of the universe. And if you're out in Singapore, you should take a swim in there. This is exactly what we've done in our 3 towers. Innovation in desktop and mobile and content built on top of a world-class infrastructure, both the workspace services that tie many of the parts of end-user computing together, but also intricate ties to the software-defined data center. And when you put that together, you have an end-user computing portal environment, just like that swimming pool, where you get a single pane of glass, a fantastic architecture. What I'd like to do is very quickly walk you through the innovations that we're making in every one of those key areas. Let's start with the first one. In the desktop world, we announced earlier this year, for the first time in the industry, you've got a virtual desktop and an app delivery in one unified platform. Never been done before. These were disparate products from much of our competitors, and we've now built a unified architecture so that we can now innovate much faster on top of this world-class architecture. In fact, our analysts are telling us that we are innovating in the last 15 months what some of our competitors did in 15 years. It's because we built a great architecture here. We didn't stop there. We acquired last year, this time, Desktome, and it's come a long way since we've acquired it. Desktome now is our vCloud Air desktop as a service. We announced it in the US. We're expanding now, as we announced, in the UK and France and Germany. Also with service provider partners like Colt. This now provides a desktop as a service and applications as a service at the same price point as many of our competitors, but with 2 or 3x the functionality. You get the sense now that we're innovating like never before. And then we didn't stop there. We decided that many of you were asking for this notion of real-time app delivery. VDI with this notion of sort of just-in-time desktops. And you're going to see that later today. This is groundbreaking innovation from an acquisition we announced at our VMworld conference in San Francisco, Cloud Volumes. And if any of you have a chance, you've got to take a look at this product in our booths. Sign up for a beta usage of this thing. Whether you are a VMware or a Citrix XenApp customer, this product is going to work beautifully in your environment. But we didn't stop there. We decided that we wanted to provide many of you the type of user experience that you are asking in a 3D environment. Many of you said, listen, we'd like to have the 3D graphics of CAD and CAM, and we don't want to have to introduce a Tier 3 hypervisor. We want to be able to use the Tier 1 hypervisor like vSphere, and use that in conjunction with things like Horizon View. So we went to the great aspects of our partnerships with NVIDIA, also with Google, and what I'd like to now do is play this video that actually talks about the groundbreaking partnership that we have built together with Google and NVIDIA. Let's roll the video.
I'm super excited with the partnership between Google, VMware, and NVIDIA. With VMware, we're integrating the NVIDIA Grid virtual GPU platform with the world's leading enterprise virtualization platform. With this partnership, we're able to now provide applications that run on powerful workstations and PCs in the data center, and we can stream it and offer it virtually to any customer on any device. Over the last year, and to create a fundamentally new Chromebook.
With the next update to a Chromebook, running the new NVIDIA processors, customers using VMware vSphere and VMware Horizon desktop solutions adding 3D design or engineering applications to a Chromebook.
The work that we have done together is truly milestone work. We've revolutionized the way that designers can work, and we've redefined the future of enterprise desktop.
Let's give it up for Google and NVIDIA. And thank you to Jinsun and to Cesar Sengupta. You can see there the powerful set of innovation that happens when we partner with leaders in the industry. And we built all of this with deep integration to the software-defined data center. Today we're excited to announce another great innovation in our desktop portfolio. Many of you are asking for a secure container. Just like you have a bring your own device for a mobile world, you've asked for a bring your own laptop or choose your own laptop. And we've now brought together the best of AirWatch and Horizon with Fusion and Mirage now into a solution that's being launched and announced today, Horizon Flex. And you can see here in this very simple demo experiment, you've got here your Macintosh, and now you're able to launch your secure container for offline type of usage. The best of a bring your own anything world, bring your own stuff kind of world. So that's the type of innovation that we're bringing for many of you who are going to be road warriors who want the best of simplicity and security in that type of environment. So desktop, innovation like never before. The same with mobile, the second core pillar. Many of you, when I joined last year, I asked you what was probably the missing part of our portfolio, and you said, listen, you've got to have a mobile solution that's state-of-the-art. So we did our own evaluation internally when we were looking at a solution in our IT department. Our CIO looked at everything in the market and picked AirWatch. Many of you, as I did interviews with you, you liked our strategy in the desktop side, and you picked AirWatch, the market leader in enterprise management, mobile, and security. 14,000 plus customers, millions of devices under management. A solution that's much broader than just device management. Everything from application management to content management, email management, driven primarily on the cloud, but also on-premise through one code base. Not been done before in the industry. So we acquired this company in January this year, and it's been a fabulous 9 months as we continue to see great momentum in every geography. We announced at VMworld San Francisco a great partnership with the apps leader in the industry, SAP. And the reason that's important is that many of you are asking for the best of mobile security from AirWatch combined with mobile apps from players like SAP. We also announced at AirWatch Connect a partnership with Capgemini. They have great presence in Europe. They have a services arrangement where in managed mobility, they're going to help create custom applications, but also manage and secure that now with AirWatch. We're excited about that. And many other AppShield partnerships with customers like companies like Salesforce and Adobe. But today, we're excited to take our partnership even further with one of the biggest companies in IT, in HP. So dovetailing on top of the announcement that Pat talked about VRealize, HP and VMware are now partnering in enterprise mobility. And we find now when the great powers and great brands like HP and VMware partner together, customers like you benefit. I'd like to play a video briefly of how HP plans to drive more partnership and mobility. Let's roll that video.
We've been together with VMware for 14 years. So when you take VMware, HP, add the AirWatch innovation, it's a fantastic combination to give our customers safe, reliable projects anywhere in the world using the most innovative technology on the planet. Our customers are quickly changing what they expect out of mobile technology. They now want mainstream applications, and they're moving their mobile strategy into their primary business objectives. They want a partner who can advise, transform, and manage for them anywhere in the world with the best technologies. Mobile's already a mission-critical platform for many of our customers. They rely on it for their field agents. They rely on it for time recording inside of their organizations, for digitizing and early claims processing. They rely on it for customer intimacy. So it's already mainstream. What we're finding now is they want to expand its use. HP, as a dominant player in the mobility and workplace, needs to have the best technology companies integrated into our solution set. What we've seen with AirWatch is that rapid evolution. Look at the way the analysts view that technology as a leader, and we've watched that. We've sat down with our long-term partner VMware and said, hey guys, how do we make the combination even more powerful? And that's what we've really set out to do.
Let's give it up for HP. And for those of you who have HP practices, this now becomes a place where you can get the benefit of HP and VMware working together. You know, Isaac Newton said, I see clearly often because I sit on the shoulders of giants. And for us, much of this ecosystem galvanizing themselves to drive and support VMware's end-user computing vision is a great testament to both all of your customers investing with us, and we're grateful for that. So as we think about the third core pillar in this portfolio, we covered desktop, we covered mobile, and the third is content. As you think about once you've got your desktops and your mobile all managed and secure, typically the first thing you want to do is share content. We've got to make sure that those files that you share and synchronize can be accessed anywhere, any place, whether it's on a desktop or today a lot of it's on a mobile device. It can't be sitting in just a public cloud. Many of your European customers told us you're uncomfortable with data sitting in a US public cloud. So hybrid is the operative word, not just in terms of many of the services that Bill talked about, but also for the notion of how you do things like file sync and share. We are now one of the industry's only solutions that can operate in this hybrid cloud environment. You need to have the simplicity of something like a Dropbox if you think about that, but also security where it's tightly integrated into AirWatch. And then we expect that much of this content is going to be organized in plenty of stores. It could be in OneDrive, it could be in Google Drive, it could be in Dropbox, it could be in Box. And we are a federated type of content collaboration solution on top of any of them. And that's the beauty of this solution. Tightly integrated, whether it's on-premise storage, and also tightly integrated to the security that you choose. One great example of this are many of the airlines. Today, AirWatch is becoming a de facto standard in the airline industry. If you're an airline company, you need to be looking at this. United Airlines, this is a case study right off the Apple website, where United Airlines now, if you watch many of these pilots that drag these 30 or 40-pound bags into the cockpits, they're replacing many of that with iPads. And on these digital iPads are the landing instructions, all the instructions and the details of the plane. That's also now going to become part of what the standard is for the flight attendants or the baggage handlers. Mobile is transforming the industries in a number of fundamental ways. Now, to pull this all together, we've really built a lot of integration. These aren't just piece parts. We've been working on integration between desktop and mobile. Horizon Flex, for example, is an example of integration between Mirage and Fusion and AirWatch. We built integration like single sign-on in our identity services because identity is a key part of this solution. You need to have identity that's connecting much of this all the way from the data center all the way to the desktop with directory services and much more. And much of this is built with the connection, as we call it, between the head and the body. Head being what you see, end-user computing, body being the software-defined data center, something uniquely that we can provide at VMware in a heterogeneous environment. Pat alluded to this notion of the Workspace suite, and he called it the equivalent of the vCloud suite in the end-user world. I'll use another metaphor. Microsoft Office has Word and Excel and PowerPoint. We have the equivalent in the end-user computing. Our Word and Excel and PowerPoint are the desktop, the mobile, the content locker, built with integration underneath this from the Workspace services. So you have an integrated, cohesive solution that's best of breed in every one of those pillars, yet unified, optimized, yet not tethered in any kind of fashion. And the notion of being best of breed is attested not just by us, but by analysts. For the first time in the industry, this year, we've been rated as #1 in desktop, leapfrogging the competition by analysts such as GigaOM. And in every almost analyst report that I've seen in mobile, especially the ones that have been coming out the last few weeks and months, AirWatch is top and right. And this is a tribute to all of your feedback to us as we've innovated our products and sought to be not just #1 today, but continue to invest. We are investing 3 times the R&D in mobility of the #2 competitor in the space. So that gives you a sense of our commitment. So as we think about doing all of this, it can't happen without integration. And I'm just going to be honored now to introduce on stage Kit Colbert, who's our CTO of End User Computing, to talk with me more about the integration we plan. Welcome, Kit.
Hey, Sanjay.
Kit, great to have you here. Last year, obviously, you were the star of the show as you just did all these demo gymnastics. Now you've got a great role in CTO of end-user computing. Tell us a little bit about what you've been busy with in terms of planning and doing this integration.
Of course, yeah. So we've been talking a lot about how the mobile cloud era is changing the landscape of end-user computing. We've been thinking a lot about that in the CTO office. And a big part of that is, as a technologist, we have to define an architecture that can meet all the requirements of this new era. And so in particular, what we have in mind is exactly this mobile cloud architecture. In this model, apps, data, policies, these all live in the cloud. You can connect any device of your choice up to that cloud, and that device will light up and personalize itself for the user. This is really powerful for two reasons. First, for end users, it means they can choose the device that they want and get all the apps and data on that device, as well as move between devices seamlessly. And for IT, it fundamentally simplifies management by centralizing all that management in the cloud. So let's talk a little bit about each of these cases, end user and IT. And let's start with end user. Now, for end user, we want to take a really concrete example, an industry that's being shaped and changed by these technologies. And we couldn't think of a better example than healthcare. This is an industry that's touched all of our lives and that deals with literally life or death matters. And yet, at the same time, is driven by technology, right? So let's walk through a couple of demos here, some vignettes of a day in the life of a doctor. So I'll play a doctor, and Sanjay,
okay, great.
Make you a doctor as well.
I wanted to be a doctor in my life, so excited to be doing this.
Okay, so I'm a doctor, and I'm at City Hospital today. So let's jump into the first demo here. So it's the morning, I just get in, I sit down at my Mac at my desk. And you know, one of the problems that I have as a doctor who works at multiple hospitals is trying to get access to all the apps and data that I need to use at that particular hospital I'm at. But the good news is that VMware Workspace Portal makes that so easy for me by putting all my apps and data in one place. I can go and click once to get easy access to it. But the great thing is that it also has an app store. So I can go and self-service add additional applications. As you can see here, I'm adding some EMR apps. So this is great. I have all the stuff at my fingertips, really easy for me to access. OK, well, it looks like I just got a page. So I got to go see a patient. So I leave my desk, leave my Mac, I grab my iPad, and I walk toward the patient ward. Now, as I'm walking toward the patient ward, I want to check out some information. My iPad is managed by AirWatch, and it's also connected to City Hospital's data center. And so as you see here, you can actually see the same set of applications are here on my iPad as I just had on my Mac. As a matter of fact, those EMR apps that I just added are also here, and I can easily run one. This is what we're talking about when we talk about this mobile cloud architecture, this ability to seamlessly move between devices and yet not miss a beat. You have the same experience, same apps, same data. So here I am. One click, I'm accessing all this patient's medical records. I can review the background for this patient. And so when I go and see him, I'm ready to talk to him.
So, Kit, let's pause for a second there. You walked from your office where you had your desktop. You got a page. You picked up your iPad. You're now walking to the ward. And you picked up SAP EMR, the application, on your iPad, exact same application, single sign-on, working for you seamlessly. Is that what you showed?
The point is, as a doctor, I want to be able to have more time to treat patients. And by leveraging these sorts of technologies, it makes it really easy for me to get that patient information quickly. Exactly. So amazing. I can go in, I can treat that patient, I can talk to him. But I may need to check out some more information while I'm there in the room. So I can flip around and get on to a thin client there in the room. I can just badge right into it. And that leverages VMware Horizon to connect me to a virtual desktop running in City Hospital's data center. And what you see here is high-resolution 3D medical imaging. But the cool part is I don't need a 3D graphics workstation there in the room. It's just a thin client. I could access this from my iPad, from my phone, whatever I have handy on me. The point is to get that patient's information so I can make the correct assessment.
Okay, Kit, I think they've seen enough about brain images, okay? But, I'm a doctor, and I'd like to collaborate with you on that sort of environment. How can you facilitate that?
Well, this is a good point, right? I may need to reach out to a specialist, in this case, my esteemed colleague, Dr. Poonen. Now, I need to send Sanjay a couple of medical images, but I can't just email those, right? I mean, these things are sensitive information. I need something that is secure and compliant with all the laws that apply here. And so this is exactly what AirWatch Secure Content Locker provides me. It makes it really easy for me as a doctor to collaborate with other doctors. I don't need to worry about security. Security is taken care of by the product here. So I can add this file and add Sanjay to it and type a quick message to him to say, hey, Sanjay, let's collaborate. So that's great, right? But what we need to do is check out what's happening in the background here. Because for me as a doctor, this was very simple, but there's a lot happening behind the scenes. So let's switch back to the slides to see what that looks like. So here we are. We're in City Hospital, right? That's where I am. Sanjay is actually in University Hospital, and these are typically protected by separate security zones. But what I'm essentially doing with Secure Content Locker is extending the trust zone from my machine, my iPad, my data, out to Sanjay's iPad over in University Hospital. So now, Sanjay, let's jump into your iPad to see what that looks like.
OK, so I'm at the neighboring University Hospital. I bring up my iPad with this nice green background, and I'd like to bring up my own personal copy of Content Locker. And let's just see if the document you sent me, the image there which you want to get a consultative opinion, here it is. And perhaps the message that you've sent me I can also see very easily, so I have the context. But you know, Kit, I'd love to actually hone in on that, sort of white dot there. And maybe there's something there. I'd like to annotate that, if you would, and put a little descriptive comment back to you so we can actually get a real-time collaboration session going on. Again, very HIPAA compliant, so I'm not just emailing this to you. It sounds like that's also possible, where I can directly communicate with you.
Yeah, you can see it right here. The point is that we can collaborate in real time to figure out what's going on with this patient, and in the end, reach a conclusion more quickly.
Amazing. This is going to change the productivity level of healthcare, but in many different industries. Certainly it's going to make a big difference in my own life.
Exactly, and that's exactly the point. So if we switch back to slides, we can show a summary of what we just saw here, which is the point is that we actually moved through a number of different scenarios here, right? I, as a doctor, start off my morning in the office. I went to treat patients. I collaborated with other doctors, such as Sanjay. But the point was, in the end, I had more time to actually treat my patients and provide better care. And that's exactly how this mobile cloud architecture is empowering me as a doctor and an end user. OK, so that's the end user side of things. Let's switch gears and talk about IT. Now, one of the biggest problems that IT faces in this new mobile cloud era is just the proliferation of devices that are flooding into the workplace. IT fundamentally needs to simplify how they manage so that they can manage at scale. Now, the first big problem here is application delivery. The good news is that application delivery has been largely solved by products like AirWatch, right? Powerful enterprise mobility management products where it's so easy for an admin to go and entitle users to applications. Just a couple of simple clicks in the AirWatch admin UI, and that app will just pop up on that user's device wherever they are. This can be done for individual users or even groups of users. And so it's the exact same simplicity we want to take from the mobility side and apply that to desktop. And that's exactly why we acquired Cloud Volumes. So let's check out a demo of Cloud Volumes.
So Kit, now you're the CIO of that same hospital, and we want to take that App Store type experience into the world of Windows desktops with Cloud Volumes.
Right. Took off my doctor's coat, lab coat, put on my CIO hat. And here we are. I'm on my Mac. And Sanjay, I've opened up your Windows virtual desktop here. And we can see that you have a file here. But if we try to open it, we'll see that you actually don't have PowerPoint that can open and allow you to view and edit this file. OK, so that's a problem, but it's easily fixable. If we pop over to the Cloud Volumes admin UI, we can actually see that it's very similar in concept to something like AirWatch. Right? It's a point-and-click experience to deliver applications to desktops. Very simple, very easy. And I can do this both for you, Sanjay, individually, or a whole group of users. OK, now before we actually apply this new, or deliver this application, let's make sure we pay attention to the desktop here. You see that Cloud Volumes.pptx file. You see how it's a blank icon. That means PowerPoint's not installed. Watch after we hit assign here. You'll notice that icon changes to indicate PowerPoint's been installed. Just wait a second here, and boom, there it is. It's that quick, right? And keep in mind that it's not like this thing's streaming in the background. I mean, PowerPoint's ready to use right then. And that's because Cloud Volumes leverages all the strong hypervisor technologies that we have with vSphere, right? This stuff is made to be very efficient, very quick, very powerful.
OK, so that's amazing. I mean, I can't believe it was that fast. But quite frankly, Kit, that's a simple scenario. I have more than one application. I got several applications. I mean, can it really be that fast?
Right, you're a power user, Sanjay. We
well,
understand.
I'd like to think I'm a power user,
okay.
But nonetheless.
OK, so we can help you out here. So if we go back to the Cloud Volumes admin UI, I actually have another app group which has about 200 applications. And so what you'll notice here is the exact same set of steps to provision that 200 apps, right? Very easy. It's a couple of clicks. I can provision it just to you, Sanjay, to a whole group of users, to an entire department, whatever I want. So here we go ahead and click Assign again, and you'll notice that it just takes a couple of seconds, and boom, all those apps are there. So 200 applications delivered to a desktop basically instantaneously.
That looks more like a desktop. What do you guys think? That looks more like my desktop.
It is a power user desktop there.
That's amazing. It's as instant and quick as that.
Yes. This is the coolness of Cloud Volumes and the simplicity that it brings to that desktop application delivery, taking those ideas from mobility and applying them to desktop. So that's great, right? And the other piece is it's just as easy to remove all those.
Really?
Another click of the button, and they're all gone, right?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so very, very simple. Now, we want to take that same simplicity of app delivery and actually apply it to desktop itself. If we switch back to the slides, what we'll see is it actually is a very time-consuming and cumbersome process to provision virtual desktops today. This is something that can take on the order of many minutes, and so it's not very scalable if you're trying to provision hundreds or thousands of these things. So just like Cloud Volumes leverages all the hypervisor innovations we've done in vSphere to optimize application delivery, we can do the same thing for desktop. As a matter of fact, we can leverage a technology that Pat mentioned earlier called Project Fargo. So Project Fargo clones a running virtual machine. It gets you a new VM really quickly, under a second, and that new VM actually shares all of its memory and disk with the original. So this is really powerful because, first, it means that you can provision a new VM almost instantaneously, and second, it means that new VM is super lightweight because of the resource sharing. So this is really, really cool because what it means is that we've taken something that used to be very expensive, on the order of many minutes, and made it basically free or instantaneous. And anytime you go for something that's expensive, but something free, it gives you the opportunity to redefine your architecture. And that's exactly what we're doing with desktop in this mobile cloud era. So let's see how we put it all together, Sanjay. OK, so what happens is that you have your kind of golden running image here, your live template. And when a user logs in from the device of their choice, what do? We use Project Fargo to hot clone that virtual desktop. Now the user has a brand new, fresh, clean Windows desktop. We then use Cloud Volumes to go and insert, dynamically deliver all that user's applications and data on the fly. This happens in just a couple of seconds and is completely transparent to the end user. And when the user logs out, we kill the VM. But we can do that exactly because all the apps and data are persisted in the cloud. That virtual desktop is just a temporary vehicle for delivering those apps and data to that end user. So this is really powerful because what it means is that now you have radically simplified desktop management. It's a simple point-and-click affair, just like with mobility. Also, it's much more cost-effective. We dramatically reduce costs with all the resource sharing we talked about with Project Fargo and the higher consolidation ratios that you can get out of it. And finally, it's just more secure. Every time that user logs in, it's like they're getting a brand new desktop, right? And those apps are always up to date, the latest versions that IT has provisioned. This, again, is like mobility, where the applications are automatically updating themselves. So we think this is really, really powerful. And in fact, we think this is a whole new way of doing desktop. And so we wanted to give it a name. We're calling it Just-in-Time Desktop. It's desktop reimagined and inspired by mobility. Very exciting stuff.
Kit, this is amazing. I think this breakthrough innovation is just going to be incredible as we roll this out to bring that mobile cloud sort of app store experience to simple desktops. So I think as we wrap up, let's just summarize very quickly what are some of the three key takeaways. Number one, you've seen the type of unified user experience for any device, whether it's desktop or mobile or machine, that's like never before.
Yeah, this is not just technology for technology's sake. What we're actually seeing is industries take these technologies and really drive fundamental changes to their industry, just like we saw with the healthcare demos from earlier.
And then last but not least, all of this wouldn't be possible without the deep integration we've done to the software-defined data center. That optimization for the software-defined data center is the foundation of everything. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great conference. And with that, we'll turn it back to Pat Gelsinger, our CEO. Thank you very much.
We've covered a lot of ground this morning with Sanjay and our end-user computing, with Kit helping to demonstrate that, with Bill and our hybrid cloud and the software-defined data center and all the advancements that we talked about. More choice from VMware than any other vendor. Right? We've talked about how we're accelerating this journey to the software-defined data center, something our customers see and understand in seconds and want to expedite the deployment of those technologies. How we're delivering choice without compromise, enabling OpenStack as well as containers on that same infrastructure that you've become powerful and proficient at delivering. How we're driving the hybrid cloud future, enabling a new set of services and a new lineup of partners and third-party services. How we enable this connection of all the devices securely and managed to this common infrastructure. And finally, that we're enabling a brave new IT world. And we talked about some of those brave leaders. but ultimately, right, it's about the brave leadership that each one of you will be providing to your organizations. Every single one of you is looked at by your business, by your groups, as the leader in this new model of IT. You are enabling your companies, your organization, for a bold new future. You are the brave new IT. And it is our job to enable you to go bravely. Thank you for listening, and have a tremendous VMworld 2014. Thank you very much.